So yet another saute Saturday that doesn't make it out on a Saturday. I probably should just rename it and just share cooking videos when I get the chance. But as you guys will see, this intro is wicked old. I was trying to get this coconut custard pie recipe out to you guys before Thanksgiving, but with some of my health issues, my hip, my shoulder, yada yada, it just didn't get out in time. But it came out so delicious that I really did not want to not share. So we can serve coconut custard pie for Christmas too, right? Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, back to share another saute Saturday with you guys. And this time I am trying something I have never tried before. Now, the last time I did that, I tried my pumpkin roll, and that was a complete fail. Although it tasted absolutely delicious, it certainly was not rolled up like I had intended. But this time I wanted to embrace myself because we are going to do coconut custard pie. So what spawned a coconut custard pie? Well, that happens to be my favorite pie on the table for Thanksgiving. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me some pumpkin pie, but coconut custard is my absolute favorite. But if you guys were following me over the summer, I took a trip with my parents to Hershey Park, which we had so much fun. It was absolutely amazing. But my favorite part was touring the chocolate factory. So that was like, besides getting the behind the scenes of what goes on, we got to go to the gift shop where they sell like gigantic peanut butter cups the size of your head. And coconut, that's right, bagged coconut from Mounds candy. Like, as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, you're coming home with me. This is my absolute favorite flavor. If you guys have watched me for any length of time, my coffee, everything is a coconut. So I'm like tongue-tied just thinking about this because Mounds coconut, like, hello. So as soon as I saw this, I knew I was going to be doing my own coconut custard pie. And I've been counting down the days since I bought this to making it to share with you guys now, just in time for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to take you down to the counter and show you what we need, and we're going to get started making coconut custard pie just in time for the holidays. Yeah, Kira, the only thing you're on time for is being late. Anyways, here is what we're going to need to make this coconut custard pie. It is pretty easy and not a lot of ingredients. So it calls for a 9-inch non-baked pie shell. It calls for only a half a cup of coconut, but Mama loves her coconut, so I overpacked the measuring cup. You need some sugar, some salt. You need 4 eggs, 3 for one part and 1 for another. You need some vanilla, some nutmeg, some heavy cream, and some whole milk. Now, I got this recipe off of Pinterest, so I'll make sure to link it below. But the first thing that we need to do is heat up, or temper is what they call it, the heavy cream and milk. So I'm going to pour both of those into a saucepan onto the stove, and the key to this is watching it. You do not want it to boil over. So now what we're going to do is separate just one of the eggs. This is actually a strainer for a can. It fits right over a can lid, and you just dump it out into the sink and it helps strain it. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll link it below. It's just a couple of bucks. I found it on Amazon, but I absolutely love it. It's super convenient and it works really well for straining egg whites. As you see, I just put egg whites of 1 egg into a bowl, and then the yolk and the other 3 eggs into this bowl and whisked it up. I did keep returning to the saucepan and stirring that milk and heavy cream because, again, you don't want it to burn up. And while that was going, I started with the 3 cups of sugar and the vanilla. Then I looked over and saw that it was foaming up. So I pulled that milk and heavy cream off of the stove and just moved it back to cool. And then now I added that egg mixture to the sugar and vanilla, and I whisked it really, really good together. It says to use a hand beater or mix it vigorously. So I made sure to mix it really, really well for a long period of time. And then now we're going to add that milk and heavy cream mixture to our egg, sugar, and vanilla. But you need to do it in very small increments, and you need to vigorously continue to whisk that batter. There's a lot of egg in there, and that milk and cream is very hot. So if you do not do that, it'll scramble your eggs inside, and then you're not going to have any kind of coconut custard pie. You're going to have a scrambled egg pie. So then we're going to add that coconut and that nutmeg, and then we are done with our inside mixture. We're going to set it aside, and we're going to baste the inside of that pie shell with the egg whites. Once I was done basting it with the egg whites, I put it on a cookie sheet and then filled it with the mixture. Now you can see that I just poured the mixture in, and it didn't call for a deep dish pan, but there was just so much liquid left over. So I added 2 ramekins on the side, and I put the leftover mixture into the ramekins and just baked it alongside the coconut custard pie. And now we're going to put the ramekins and the pie into the oven at 400 for 20 minutes. And then after, we're going to pull the pie out, and we're going to wrap the outside of the pie in some foil. Now it is very important to wrap the ends in foil because you do not want it to burn. So we're going to actually put it back in the oven at 250 degrees for another 30 to 40 minutes, just to make sure that the custard is cooked through and through, but you do not want to add any more doneness to the crust. Now you can see, as I was trying to be cinematic and sliding it back into the oven, you can see my tripod and my daughter sitting there, not letting me do anything without her. So I put it back into the oven, and when it was ready and I pulled it out, you guys, I have never made a pie that looked this good, that was this successful, and I really, truly loved how this came out. I was really, really impressed with the flavor profile. The only thing I would say is that it called for freshly grated nutmeg, and it did not say where to put the freshly grated nutmeg. So I used my regular nutmeg and just sprinkled like a 1/4 teaspoon, as you guys saw inside, and I feel like even that was a little overpowering. So I definitely know for next time and not to do that, but I did eat the custard separately and then saved the regular pie for Thanksgiving, and we were just over the moon about it. So now here's the thing. Look at the consistency inside of this cup. You can see that it's not as creamy as I would have liked it to be, and it's almost like thick and chunky, but not in a bad way. It's just, as I mentioned in the earlier clip, it only called for a 1/2 cup of coconut, and I definitely overdid it and did 3/4 cup to closer to a cup, which is why I said I am more of a cook and not a baker, because you have to be super precise when baking any kind of recipe. That is the reason why baking is super strategic and not really for me. I wanted to add more coconut because I love coconut, but it called for 1/2 cup for a reason, because it gives the flavor of the coconut and the feel of the coconut, but it doesn't have that overwhelmingly creamy texture that it should, because it is absorbed by the coconut. It's definitely super delicious. As I said, I ate the little ramekins. You don't see one picture there because I already ate it. And then this was the next day after I let it sit in the refrigerator. You definitely should let it sit for a good hour and then refrigerate it for at least 2 hours, preferably overnight, before serving. So I liked the custard better the next day as opposed to later on that day, but I can't get enough of this pie. I am definitely a coconut custard person. I really, really loved the recipe. I was a little confused again about where the nutmeg went, but I am super happy that I nailed a pie. Kudos to me, and thumbs up right now for my first attempt at a pie that did not burn or sink or fall. So I'm super happy with that, and I am happy that you guys joined me again today. I am so sorry that I did not get this out in time for Thanksgiving, but hopefully you guys will want to cook this another time. And like I said, we still can serve coconut custard for Thanksgiving, right? So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. You know I love you guys all so much. Stay tuned for the next Saute Saturday, which I promise will be out on Saturday, December 1st, the kickoff to Vlogmas, and I'm sharing my mom's famous Ruggler's recipe. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.